If you're a woman in the Church of Christ, this message is for you. But if you're not, please stay as our honored guest. All women are welcomed here. Today we'll answer the question, is there a difference between being a busybody and a spy? Many years ago, I received a phone call from a woman I'd been casual friends with at one time, but we'd lost touch. We didn't go to church together or anything like that, but it was just a brief friendship, and she was a nice lady, but I didn't know her very well. When she called, she sounded excited. She had something she wanted to tell me about, and she wanted to know if she and her husband could come over and talk to us. But we couldn't tell anyone. It was going to be a wonderful opportunity to make some really serious money. Now, I tried to ask some questions, but all that she would say was that I couldn't tell anyone about it, and that the meeting, she would tell me all about it, but I would not be selling anything. But I could be rich. Rich? Well, that sounded interesting, but not selling anything? How is that even possible? Both Greg and I wondered what they had gotten themselves into. What did they want to get us into, and what was the deal with all the secrecy? It actually sounded pretty shady. So, being the good Christian girl that I was, I called the police. Honestly, I thought they'd laugh and hang up, but that's not what happened. I was transferred to a detective who, after listening to my story, explained that there was actually an illegal pyramid scheme in our area that they were investigating, and it kind of sounded like our friends had gotten caught up in it. It involved some very bad people. Now, I was scared. For the next 2 weeks, I had several more conversations with this detective, and we had made a plan. He would come to my house and set up equipment in our back room and listen and record everything that was said. I could tell no one. Again with the secrets? Well, the day before the big sting operation, he called and told me that he was not going to be able to come. There was another sting he needed to be a part of. So could we just meet with our friends and record the meeting and then give him the information later? Yikes. No, I'm not a trained spy. What if they become dangerous? What if they brought the bad people with them? What if they got mad when we said no? The next thing I know, my husband is wearing a small tape recorder in his sock. And we are spies trying to get information from our casual friends to turn over to the police. We sat there acting like as if we were interested, asking all kinds of questions. We smiled and we said one thing, but our motives were not what they appeared to be. Oh yeah, we were asking questions, but not because we were genuinely interested. We wanted to pass that information off to others. Now I know that there are some women who would have loved to have been in my shoes. They love this kind of mystery and intrigue, and the deception is right up their alley. In fact, they do it even when they don't have to. They want to know all the details about other people's lives, and the juicier and more provocative, the better. They do this so they can share this information with others, like an undercover spy. Now, I'm not saying it's you, but for them, it's exciting to hear all the gory, racy details of other people's lives. Isn't what that TV show, The Bachelor and Survivor, and that one where they all live in the same house for weeks is all about? People pretending to be something or someone to gain the trust of others so they can actually use that information against them? Wow. Women can be especially good at this type game. But you know what the Bible calls that kind of behavior? A busybody and a gossip. 1 Peter 4:15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer or a thief or as an evildoer or as a busybody in other men's matters. Yikes! Peter put being a busybody right up there with murderer, evildoer, and thief? That's not a list I want to be on. How about you? My ministry is all about uniting women to love and support one another. We need to be able to talk to one another and share secrets and even ask those tough questions. But we also need to be able to trust one another. I need to know that your questions are for the right reasons, that you're not asking because you want to be involved in my drama or that you'll share what I have told you in private with others. No one can trust a gossip or a busybody. Proverbs 16:28 says, "A perverse man sows strife, and a whisperer separates the best of friends." A whisperer, a talebearer, a gossip are all words for the same person. And what does that person do? Separate the best of friends. Being a busybody and a gossip can separate you from the people that you love. It can separate us from each other. But look what a faithful person can do. Proverbs 11:13. A talebearer reveals secrets, but he who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter. A faithful person conceals, keeps secrets, and can be relied upon not to spread what you have shared in secret with them. Now that's the kind of friend we all need. But here's the challenge for us all. When someone cries, we want to know why. If there are others whispering in the corner, we feel left out. We love being in on a secret. It makes us feel a part of a group and important. Caring for others and wanting to be involved in their lives is a gift from God. But like any good and perfect gift, Satan can use that desire to entice us to sin. This human desire can become terribly out of control if we are not very careful. We must constantly be checking our motives as to why we are saying and doing what we do. Self-reflection and self-control are key. When I opened the door and hugged my friend that night, my motives were not pure. I wasn't interested in her great scheme to be rich. We were merely asking questions to give that information to the police, like a spy. Thankfully, it turned out to be a legitimate pyramid company in which you could make money and not sell anything if you recruited others to do the selling. So it was not actually a crime. In fact, I felt rather foolish and greatly relieved. Of course, I still had to call the detective and admit that it was all a misunderstanding, but I learned something that night. You cannot look at someone and know their motives. My husband was as cool as a cucumber sitting there with that tape recorder running in his sock under the table. We both seemed engaged and interested, and we were, just not for the reasons our friends thought. God has not called us to be spies. He has called us to be trustworthy, compassionate women who love God and one another. We all need to be okay with not knowing everything in the lives of others. But if they need us to listen, we need to listen, but keep their confidences. Of course, if someone is in real danger, we may have to call for help. But that does not mean that we need to put it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Can you be a trusted person? Can you fight the urge to always be in the know about those around you? Can you fight the fleshly desire to be a spy, a busybody, or a gossip? These are huge temptations for many of us. I pray that we can all help each other stay away from Satan's traps and become the wise, compassionate, trustworthy Christian women that God has called us to be. I believe we can when we help each other God's way. I pray that you'll give my message from God's Word some serious thought and prayer. Living as a Christian woman is not easy, but it's always easier when we walk together. Ladies, please pray for me and with me as we all take this journey called life together. Check out my website for more video links, information on me, my ministry, my ladies' Bible study materials, how to order them, and upcoming events and books. You'll find the website address at the end of this video. Thanks for taking time from your busy day to watch this video. Please tell your Christian sisters about it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that like button for me, okay? I truly love our time together. Until we meet again, my sisters, never forget that God loves you, and so do I.